The purpose of today's pro seminar session is to help users be able to use the reference and citation software available at Hunter College CUNY. Some of the software that is available are RefWorks, EndNote, Zotero, and Mendeley. We're going to do a guided practice using RefWorks. So the first thing that you're going to see is how to create a reference account, then to create a folder within your RefWorks account for a given topic, course, or what have you. Add references to your folder from multiple sources and create and edit a bibliography. So first, if you go to the Hunter College Library, you'll find a drop-down menu for services. And that's the drop-down you want to use, and you want to go to Citation Tools. Once you're in Citation Tools, you'll see a list. And as I said, that includes RefWorks. It also includes Zotero, and you will be provided with instructions for using Zotero and other platforms. We're, as I said, going to be using RefWorks. So you need to log in or create a new account. It's a free account through your institution. And I believe you should not use login from my institution. You should put in your email and password that are, I believe, your net ID. So once you've created an account, what you'll see is a home page. Now, your home page will probably be blank unless you've used it before, but you'll see that it's RefWorks. You have a project, which is kind of like a massive folder. Your institution, the language, you have language choices, and so on. And you'll see that there are things like search functions, and there's a way to detect duplicate entries so that you can get rid of duplicates if you have more than one of the same citation, and so on. You also can see, these are some of my references. These are what references look in. They're all clickable and or selectable. And some of them have little tags attached to them, which says that they are flagged as having certain topics. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is to create a folder in RefWorks, which will help you organize your citations. So here's my list of folders. I have a folder for publications, for a handbook chapter I was working on, for a paper on validity, and so on. And for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to add a folder. So under the My Folders tab, I just click plus, add folder. And then you will get a folder that you'll have the opportunity to name. So those are kind of just the basics of setting up an account so that you can then use it as a place to import references. So now we have to go and get some references. So as you know, when you're searching for articles, one of the places you can go is to an electronic library database. And this is just one of the library databases. I looked under databases. I searched for EBSCO. That's what I was looking for. So I went to the e-page. I searched for EBSCO. And once I open up the EBSCO, I see a search field. I've narrowed my search to just look at academic search complete and ERIC. So that's why it says searching academic search complete and one more. All of these are options in searching using EBSCO. And I've put in some Boolean commands to look for the phrase formative assessment or assessment for learning, and self-regulated learning or self-regulated learning without the hyphen, or SRL, and not higher education or undergraduate. I could have broadened that a little bit, but I didn't choose to here. And I've also clicked to limit my results to peer-reviewed. Those are just a few of the typical things I might do in a search for this topic. So I perform the search and I get my results. And this is my fifth result, which is something I'm interested in. It's a direct relationship between formative assessment and assessment for self-regulated learning. And we're going to use, this is called number 1 on this screen because this is the first way that I'm going to show you to bring a reference into RefWorks. And so this is from a database, like from ERIC or Academic Search Premier. So in the library databases. And so I'm going to look at this paper and I'm going to look, I believe, over to the, no, I'm going to click on the paper. So I'm going to click on the paper, and this is possible that you click on those 3 dots all the way to the right. I honestly can't remember, but you can experiment a little bit to see whether you click on the paper or you click on the 3 dots. And you want to get to something that says cite. And when you see cite, and notice, of course, you have lots of other things. You can get the PDF, you can do all kinds of things. But in this case, we just want to choose cite. And when we choose cite for this, we're going to see a screen that allows us, first of all, one thing is that we could copy the citation. So you can copy the citation in APA 7th edition or in various other formats, and you can copy it directly to a clipboard or copy and paste it somewhere else if you want to. That's not what we're going to do here. We want to export the citation, which you see the command to the, or the click to the right of copy citation. And that's what we're going to do. Now, this is kind of a funny way to export a citation. It's maybe the most complicated way. So under this method, you can import to RefWorks in 2 different ways. You're exporting to RefWorks and then opening it up in RefWorks. You can choose the RIS format, or you can go a direct import to RefWorks. When I tried to do this most recently, the direct export to RefWorks was not working. So if a direct export to RefWorks doesn't work, you can almost always export in RIS format. And if you click on that, you will download something. So go ahead and download the citation in RIS format. And just, it's in your downloads, just leave it. Then go back to RefWorks, which you've left open, and you'll see on the top row of menus, you'll see add. And there are different things that you can add. You're going to upload a document. And you're going to upload the RIS formatted file. So you'll see this upload window, very simple. You're going to drop the file into the drop place and it will import. So you don't have to do anything more complicated. It's just got this extra step. You actually have to download something and upload it to RefWorks instead of it directly going into RefWorks. So that's one way you can do it. Okay, number 2, if you have a journal website, so this is maybe something that you found because there was a special issue of a journal that you were interested in, and so you found a whole bunch of articles in this about your topic, and one of them hadn't popped up on your search, but you see it when you're browsing the journal. Okay, so you've seen this paper and you're interested in it. Almost always on a journal website, when you look at an article title, you'll see something like cite this article. So you click on cite this article, and what you'll see in this journal, and it'll usually be in there somewhere, a place to copy the citation. In various reference styles, you're going to use APA, and B, a place to download the citation. And you can, again, choose RIS, which we did before. This allows RefWorks direct export. So that word direct tells you this is going to work. Sometimes export will work, but direct export will pretty much always work. And note the options. You can choose just the citation and the abstract, or the citation and the references. So if you want an abstract to go along with your reference list as for your future reference, then you can ask for that option. So you just click that and you say download, and that will go directly, as I'll show you in a minute, that will go directly into RefWorks. It'll zip to your RefWorks screen and you'll see that it's been downloaded. And a third way is to add a reference directly from Google Scholar. So I've seen here that there's this paper I'm interested in called Fusing, it's the third one down, Fusing Self-Regulated Learning and Formative Assessment. And I'm interested in that. So I click on underneath the paper title and abstract, it says Save, Cite, Cited By. I click on Cite. I see APA style, and I see different different citation export formats, and I choose RefWorks. So that's 3 methods from a database. In the case that I showed, I had to go and download the RIS format and upload it to RefWorks manually. Direct export to RefWorks from a journal homepage, and direct export to RefWorks from Google Scholar cite function. So now one thing when you're importing, it's a good idea. You created a folder and your import options, which will pop in when something is being uploaded, allow you to assign it to the folder you want to. So that's nice. You should try to do that whenever possible. It helps you organize your files, obviously. But if you do not initially save a paper to a folder, or you've got a paper in one folder and you want to also have it in another folder, or you want to move things around, you could change the folder assignments. So that's the one of the options along the top menu is assigned to a folder. You can click multiple boxes, you can unclick boxes, you can create a new folder, and so on. So you can always change your folder assignments, but it's generally better not to have anything not assigned to a folder. If it's not assigned to a folder, either you forgot to assign it or it was kind of a random upload, and there may be no reason for it to be there. I recommend a good folder system. So now you should have, I'm sorry, this is a repeat. So I'm going to move right on. And now you should have your publications available in your RefWorks account. This image is not of the ones that I just uploaded. It's a different folder of mine. It's actually a folder that has my own publications in case, for instance, I'm doing a CV and I need to create a bibliography of my own work. So this is to see how to make a reference list or a bibliography from RefWorks. And so I am going to go again to this top menu, and one of the options is to create a bibliography. And when you create a bibliography, you are going to have the option of what format. You're going to want APA 7 edition, and then you can it will very quickly usually create a bibliography for you, and it will be appropriately alphabetized, and it generally should be correct. Now, it is only going to be as correct as the people who originally entered the data are correct, just like AI is only as accurate or trustworthy as the sources of information that it uses. So I have down here on one of my references, Bonner SM, validity in classroom assessment, purposes, properties, and principles, blah, 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 blah. And I notice here that in the reference to it, there is no information about the journal editor, and there's no publisher information, and a few other things are missing. So I want to fix that in RefWorks. I do not particularly want to fix it just on the bibliography, because then it'll have the same mistakes always. If you fix it in RefWorks, you won't have to fix it again. So I'm just going to add in some things so that it's the way it should be. And I add those in directly to the RefWorks thing, that there's the editor, the Sage publisher, and I think that's all that it needs. And it will do things like it will format. The editor is supposed to be first initial, last name. So the format for a book editor is slightly different, and it should do all of those things correctly. So do correct your citations. This is another one that has an error. In this case, RefWorks doesn't allow proper, it just simply doesn't allow proper nouns in titles. So you will have to fix that, and you'll probably have to fix that manually each time. So always check your reference list and try to improve it as needed to conform to the correct APA edition. And there are some other options you may just want to be aware of. You can, for instance, add a file. So if you click on the article, then you can open up the information. This is where you would do any editing. You can attach a file. So you can attach the actual original article. If you attach a lot of files to RefWorks, it slows it down. It makes your account very large. And so I don't like to do it because I have a lot of papers in my RefWorks account. If you're not going to compile a lot of papers, you may find it a very useful repository of your PDFs. So that's entirely your choice. Also, journals want the DOI, and sometimes the DOI will not be imported. And so you maybe want to click on that little lightning bolt there and add in a DOI if you have it available. Another useful feature is that you can find duplicate references. And so, for instance, if title, author, and year match, you can just ask it to find duplicates. And then if it finds any duplicates or things that it suspects are duplicates, you can choose which ones to delete if it's correct that they truly are duplicates. Never do those things blindly. Always check to see whether or not it's using some kind of an algorithm to detect duplicates, and it may make mistakes. So those are the steps that you're going to go through to do some independent practice. I'm going to ask you to create your own RefWorks account, create a folder, import no fewer than 3 citations of scholarly papers in the field, and eventually, either by importing them directly to your folder or moving them to your folder, these should all appear in your folder. And then I'm going to, as evidence that you've done that, I would like to see a screenshot of the contents of your folder. And then I want to see that you have a bibliography of the folder, of the contents of the folder. You may note that the bibliography, I've shown an example to the right that has my folder, pro seminar examples, my 3 citations, and my bibliography. If you're a careful watcher, you will see that the first citation is not APA format. The title of the article, Formative Assessment, Assessment is for Self-Regulated Learning, should not be italicized. Number 24, it lacks a, 24 is the volume number. It goes at the end before the DOI. There are no page numbers. The title of the journal, Educational Psychology Review, should be italicized. So whoever originally created that reference did it poorly, and you want to correct that in RefWorks so that in the future, every time you put it on a bibliography, it goes in correctly. You only have to correct it one single time. And that is the end of this presentation. And you will create a document like the one I've displayed and submit it as instructed on your course management system. Happy hunting of references and results, and I wish you a good day.